This one here, it is a word problem. It says you are 50 feet from a screen at a drive-in movie. Your line or your eye is on a horizontal line with the bottom of the screen, and the angle of elevation to the top of the screen is 60 degrees. How tall is the screen? So there's a couple things here. Just draw what you can, and then hopefully you get closer and closer to the right picture. So you are standing about 50 feet away from a screen at a drive-in movie. So it says your eye is horizontal. So there's this horizontal line. It's 50 feet away from the bottom of our screen. So this is our movie screen. It says the angle of elevation. So that's this angle here to the top of the screen is going to be 60 degrees. This here is a right angle. How tall is our movie screen? So we're trying to figure out this height here, which I'm going to label as y. And so here you could do this with the 30, 60, 90 rules. This angle here is going to be 30. And so very quickly you could do your long leg, because this is our long leg across our 60 degrees, is going to be our short, which is 50 feet, times by square root 3. So you could just say here the movie screen is 50 square root 3, and you could plug that into a calculator to figure out the actual value. And it's going to be 86.6 if you round. So it's about 86.6 feet. I'll do it the other way in case you want to just use sine, cosine, tangent. But here we have our angle. We have the side across, so opposite, and then we have the side next to it, adjacent. So not hypotenuse, but adjacent. So you could use tangent of 60 degrees equals y over 50, and then times by 50 on both sides, and then plug this into your calculator. So 50 times tangent of 60 is our height, and you would end up getting 86.6 feet. All right, number 8 here, more sine, cosine, and tangent. So we have our angle here, we have the side all the way across from it, and then we have not quite our adjacent, but it's going to be our hypotenuse. So we have hypotenuse, we have opposite. So this one is going to be sine. So sine of 35 degrees is equal to our opposite over hypotenuse times x on both sides. So you'll get x times sine of 35 is equal to 12. And then you just want to divide by sine of 35 on both sides. And so x here is going to be 20.9 if you round. This next one here, it does have to do with 30, 60, 90 as well. But this one's a little interesting because there's a square here. You might notice it's 6 and 6. This one's also a right angle. And so this length here has to be 6. This length here has to be 6. And so this one, I'm going to just use my 30, 60, 90 rules because I want to be used to those. This here is our long side. Right here would be 30 degrees. And so if I have my long side, I'm going to use that formula. So long, so 6 equals my short. My short is b here, times square root of 3. So I want to solve for my short sides. Divide by square root of 3, divide by square root of 3. You'll end up getting 2 square root of 3. So this is our short. And so our hypotenuse, the one across our 90 degrees, you just multiply it by 2. So our hypotenuse, or A, so I'll just put A here, is equal to 2 times our short. And so here you can multiply the numbers outside the square roots. A is going to be equal to 4 square root of 3. All right, number 10 here. This one also says to use, put your answer in simplest radical form. So it is going to be the 30, 60, 90 rules. But here, just be careful with this angle. This whole angle is 105. And because this is 90 here, this is 30. We know the last angle in the triangle has to be 60 degrees. And so what's left over, this is 45 degrees. And so this is also 45. So we have a 30, 60, 90, and then also 45, 45, 90. And so the only value I really have right now is 16, and that is our hypotenuse. So use the hypotenuse equals to 2 times our short, and our short side is this one right here. It doesn't have a variable, so I'll just keep it short. And then divide by 2, divide by 2. So our short side here is going to be equal to 8. So this value, this length right here. And then if we want to find the long side, the one across 60 degrees, I'm going to take my long, or in other words, f, is equal to our short side, so 8 times square root 3. So f is equal to 8 square root 3. All right, now I have to figure out g and h. Well, here, the legs are going to be the same, so g is just going to be 8 as well. And then for our 45, 45, 90, our hypotenuse, or in this case it's h, is equal to our short. So I'm going to just use g here, so 8 times square root of 2. So in other words, h is just 8 square root 2. And then g as well. G is equal to 8. All right. Number 11 here says find the value of the variables, so c and d. Write your answers again in simplest radical form. So this one you might be a little unsure, but if you take a closer look at the marks of our triangles, it's telling us that these two sides are congruent. So in other words, these two angles are going to be congruent. And then same thing around the whole triangle, or the whole square. So if I know this is 24 here, well, this is going to be a 45, 45, 90 triangle. And so that's our hypotenuse, and that's equal to our leg times square root of 2. So 24 is equal to our leg times square root of 2. I'm going to have to divide by square root of 2 on both sides. And when you simplify this, you could do it by hand if you'd like. What you end up getting is 12 square root of 2, like so. Let me just double check that actually. 24 divided by square root of 2. Yes, you get 12 square root of 2. And so what we just found were these lengths here. These lengths are 12 square root of 2, 12 square root of 2. And so that means on the other side as well, we know c is going to be equal to 12 square root of 2. And if you know here, this is 12 square root of 2. On the outside, letter d, that's just going to be equal to 12. All right, I'm going to keep going here. I think I'll stop with number 12 for this video, but a soccer ball is placed 10 feet away from a goal. So if you want to draw a soccer ball, you can. It's about 10 feet away. And the goal is also 8 feet high. It says you kick the ball and it hits the crossbar on the top of the goal. What is the angle of elevation? So this angle here, you could use theta, you could use x. I know some of you don't like theta, so you could just use x if you'd like. But take a look at what sides we have. We have the one across from it and the one right next to it. That's not the hypotenuse. So this one's opposite and adjacent, which is tangent. So tangent of theta, or you could use x, it's going to be equal to 8 over 10. This one here, you use your inverse trig function to solve for your angle. And so what I get here is our angle is equal to about 38.7 degrees. All right. I'm going to stop the video there. You can keep watching the others to see me do the other questions.